आपण पुन्हा एकदा तुमचं स्वागत करते आपल्या यूट्यूब चॅनलवर महाराष्ट्र मीडियावर. ओके, तुम्ही अजूनही आमच्या चॅनलला सबस्क्राईब केले नसेल तर चॅनलला सबस्क्राईब करा आणि साईडला दिलेल्या बेल आयकॉनला प्रेस करा, जेणेकरून चॅनलचे ऑल नोटिफिकेशन्स तुम्हाला भेटून जातील. ओके, सो आज आपण स्टार्ट करणार आहोत क्लास स्टेज पार्ट 2, दॅट इज अ चॅप्टर नंबर 2, लाईफ प्रोसेसेस इन लिव्हिंग ऑर्गॅनिझम्स, पार्ट 1, क्वेश्चन अँड आन्सर्स. सी द क्वेश्चन नंबर 1, filling the blanks and explain the statements. In that, after complete oxidation of glucose molecules dash number of the ATP molecule are formed. Answer: after complete oxidation of the glucose molecule, 38 number of ATP molecules are formed. B, at the end of glycolysis dash molecules are obtained. At the end of the glycolysis, pyruvate molecules are obtained. C, genetic recombination occurs in dash phase of process of meiosis first. Answer: genetic recombination occurs in the Pachytene phase of the process of meiosis first. D, all chromosomes are arranged parallel to the equatorial plane of the cell in dash phase of mitosis. Answer: all chromosomes are arranged parallel to the equatorial plane of the cell in metaphase of the mitosis. E, for formation of the plasma membrane, phospholipid molecules are necessary. For formation of the plasma membrane, dash molecules are necessary. That is a phospholipid molecules. Here answer is this and question is this. It just replace. Okay. F, our muscle cells perform dash type of the respiration during exercise. Our muscle cells perform anaerobic type of the respiration during exercise. Question number 2, write the definitions. In that, first, nutrition. The process taking nutrient in the body by utilizing them by an organism is known as nutrition. Nutrients, the substance like a carbohydrate, proteins, lipids, vitamins, minerals which are components of the food are called as nutrients. Proteins is a macromolecule which is formed by the many amino acids are joined by polypeptide bonds. Cellular respiration, oxidation of the glucose and other food components which takes place inside the cell in presence and absence of the oxygen is known as cellular respiration. Anaerobic respiration, cellular respiration takes place in presence of the oxygen is known as anaerobic respiration. Glycolysis, the process occurring in the cell where a molecule of glucose is oxidized step by step process forming a two molecules of each pyruvate acid ATP, NADH2 and the water is called as a glycolysis. Question number 3, D, distinguish between. Okay, first is glycolysis and TCA cycle. In glycolysis, the process of glycolysis occurs in the cytoplasm of the cells. In glycolysis, one molecule of glucose is oxidized step by step to produce two molecules of the pyruvic acid ATP, NADH2 and the water. Glycolysis can take place in the both aerobic and anaerobic respiration. The first step in the cellular respiration is the glycolysis, where glucose is converted into pyruvate. Two molecules of the pyruvate are obtained in the glycolysis. Two molecules of ATP are used up in glycolysis. Four molecules of ATP are produced in glycolysis. CO2 is not produced during the glycolysis. TCA cycle. In that, TCA cycle takes place in the mitochondria. In TCA cycle, molecules of the acetyl-CoA is completely oxidized and in the process of the CO2, H2, NADH2, FADH2 and ATP is produced. TCA cycle takes place only during the aerobic respiration. The second step in the cellular respiration is the TCA cycle. Pyruvate is converted into CO2 and H2 during the TCA cycle. ATP molecules are not used up in the TCA cycle. Two molecules of ATP are produced in TCA cycle. CO2 is produced in TCA cycle. B, mitosis and meiosis. Answer: mitosis. In mitosis, the chromosome number does not change. Diploid cells remain diploid without change. One cell gives rise to two daughter cells in mitosis. Karyokinesis of mitosis has 4 stages with prophase, metaphase, anaphase and telophase. Prophase of mitosis is not lengthy. Genetic combination does not happen in mitosis as there is no crossing over. Mitosis is essential for the growth and development. Mitosis takes place both in somatic cells and germinal cells. Okay. In meiosis, the chromosomes number is reduced to half. The diploid cells become haploid. One cell gives rise to 4 daughter cells in meiosis. Meiosis has 2 major stages, that is meiosis first and meiosis second. Each is further subdivided into prophase, metaphase, anaphase and telophase. Prophase is of the meiosis first is a very lengthy genetic recombination takes place in the homogeneous chromosomes as there is a crossing over during the prophase first. Meiosis is essential for the formation of the gamete in sexual reproduction. Meiosis takes place in only germinal cells. It does not take place in somatic cells. C. Aerobic and anaerobic respiration. Aerobic respiration, oxygen is required for the aerobic respiration. Aerobic respiration takes place in the nucleus as well as in cytoplasm. At the end of the aerobic respiration, CO2 and H2O is formed. Energy is produced in a large amount in aerobic respiration. Glucose is completely oxidized in aerobic respiration. 38 molecules of ATP are formed during the aerobic respiration. Chemical reaction, 6H12O6 plus 6CO2, 6O2 plus gives rise to 6H2O plus 6O2, CO2 plus 686 kilocalorie. Anaerobic respiration, oxygen do not required for anaerobic respiration. Anaerobic respiration occur only in the cytoplasm. At the end of the anaerobic respiration, CO2 and C2H5OH are formed. Energy is produced in a lesser amount in anaerobic respiration. Glucose is incompletely oxidized in anaerobic respiration. 2 molecules of ATP are formed during the anaerobic respiration. Chemical reaction, C6H12O6 gives rise to 2C2H5OH plus 2CO2 plus 50 kilocalorie. Question number 4, give the scientific reasons. In that oxygen is necessary for complete the oxidation of the glucose. Answer. First point, when glucose is completely oxidized in aerobic cellular respiration, it produces 38 molecules of ATP. In cellular respiration, 3 processes takes place one after the other. These are glycolysis, Krebs cycle and electron transport chain reaction. In absence of the oxygen, only glycolysis occur, but further 2 reactions will not take place. If glycolysis occurs in absence of oxygen, it produces alcohol. In anaerobic glycolysis, only 2 molecules of ATP are produced. This results in less energy supply of the body. Therefore, oxygen is necessary for complete the oxidation of glucose. B point, fibers are one of the important nutrients. In that first point, fibers are the indigestible substance. They are thrown out along the other useless and undigested matter. This aids in the digestion. Some fibers also help in the digestion of the other substances. Green leafy vegetables, fruits, cereals, etc. are considered as important in diet as they are supply nutrients fibers. Thus, fibers are considered as the one of the important nutrients. C. Cell division is one of the important properties of the cell and organisms. Cell division is very essential for the all living organism. The growth and development is possible only due to the cell division. The emaciated body can be restored only through the cell division, which adds new cells. Offspring is produced only through the cell division that takes place in the parents. In asexual reproduction, mitosis helps to give rise to a new generation. In sexual reproduction, meiosis helps to form a haploid gametes. 7. All essential function shows the cell division is one of the important properties of the cells and organisms. D. Sometimes higher plants and animals to perform anaerobic respiration. First point, when there is a deficiency of oxygen in surrounding, the aerobic respiration is not possible. In such a case, to survive, higher plants switch over to anaerobic respiration. In some animal tissue, in case of the oxygen deficiency, cell perform anaerobic respiration. E. Krebs cycle is also known as the cyclic cycle. First point, Sir Hans Krebs proposed this cycle and hence it is called as a Krebs cycle. These are the series of the cyclic chain reactions which begin with the acetyl coenzyme A molecule which act with the molecule of the oxaloacetic acid. The reactions are catalyzed with the help of the specific coenzymes. The first molecule formed in this reaction is carried out by is called as a citric acid. Therefore, Krebs cycle is also known as a citric acid cycle. Question number 5, answer in detail. In that first, explain the glycolysis in detail. Carbohydrates are converted to the glucose after the process of the digestion is completed. The oxidation of the glucose for releasing the energy is called as a glycolysis, which takes place in the cytoplasm. Glycolysis can occur in presence of the oxygen or without oxygen too. The first type of the glycolysis takes place in the aerobic respiration and second type in anaerobic respiration. In aerobic respiration, there is a stepwise oxidation of glucose molecule forming 2 molecules each of the pyruvic acid, ATP, NADH2 and water. Later, the pyruvic acid formed in this process is converted into the molecule of the acetyl coenzyme A along with the 2 molecules of the NADH2 and 2 molecules of the CO2. During anaerobic respiration along with the glycolysis, there is a fermentation too. This is an incomplete oxidation of the glucose and thus the result in the formation of the lesser energy. The process of glycolysis was discovered by the Embeden, Otto Meyerhof and the Jacob Parnas. Therefore, in their honor, glycolysis is called as the Embeden Meyerhof Parnas pathway. AMP pathway for discovery. They had performed experiments on the muscles. B. Point. B. With the help of suitable diagram, explain the mitosis in detail. In that first point, there are 2 stages of mitosis. There are a karyokinesis and nucleodivision and cytokinesis or the cytoplasmic division. Karyokinesis takes place in a further 4 phases with prophase, metaphase, anaphase and telophase. See the early prophase and late prophase diagram. Here is a metaphase, after that anaphase, it is a telophase. See the karyokinesis. Prophase. During a prophase, condensation of the chromosome starts, the thin and the thread like a chromosome start thickening. They are seen with their pair of sister chromatids. In animal cells, the centrioles are seen to duplicate and move to the opposite pole of the cell. Nuclear membrane and nucleus disappear. Second point, metaphase. Chromosomes complete their condensation and each one is seen with its sister chromatids. The chromosomes are seen in the equatorial plane of the cell. The spindle fibers are formed from the polar region where the centrioles are present and they attach themselves to the centromere of the each chromosomes. Nuclear membrane now disappears completely. Third point, anaphase. The centromere of the chromosomes now divide, forming 2 daughter chromosomes. The spindle fibers pull apart the chromosomes from the equatorial region to the opposite poles. Chromosomes moving to the poles appear like a bunch of bananas. One set of chromosomes reach each pole by the end of the anaphase. Telophase. Telophase is the reverse of events that occur in the prophase. The thickened chromosomes decondense. They again assume the thin thread-like appearance. Nuclear membrane and nucleus appear again. The spindle fibers are completely lost. The cell looks as if it has 2 nuclei in the one cytoplasm. Cytokinesis in animal cell notch develop in the middle of the cell. This notch goes on deepening down the latter. The cytoplasm divides into the 2. In a plant cell, cell plate formation takes place and then cytokinesis takes place. See, with the help of the suitable diagram, explain the 5 stages of the prophase first of meiosis. Answer. See the Diplotene, diagram of Diplotene, diagram of Zygote, diagram of Pachytene. Okay. After that, Diplotene and dikinesis. Okay. Prophase first of the meiosis, such a much longer phase of the meiosis. It is divided into 5 substages, namely Diplotene, Zygote, Pachytene, Diplotene and dikinesis. Diplotene, initially the chromosome starts condensation and they become a compact during the Diplotene. Zygote, in Zygote homologous chromosomes start pairing. This pairing is called as a synapsis. The structure called as a synaptonemal complex develops to hold the chromosomes in place during the pairing. Each chromosome and chromatids arms divides and form structure called as a bivalent tetrad. Pachytene, during the Pachytene stage, crossing over of a non-sister chromatids of the homologous chromosomes takes place. Genetic recombination is produced due to such exchange. The homologous chromosomes still remain paired together at the sister of the crossing over. Fourth, Diplotene, during the Diplotene synaptoneal complex dissolve and the homologous chromosomes of the bivalent separate except at the point of crossing over. Thus, it looks like a S-shaped structures called as a chiasmata. Okay. Dikinesis, the last phase of the prophase, is for the termination of the chiasmata. The spindle fibers originate and the crossover homologous chromosomes are now separated. The nucleus disappears and the nuclear envelope breaks down. D. How do all life processes contribute to the growth and development of the body? First, different systems work in the coordination with each other in the body of the living organism. In human body, the homeostasis is very advanced. Digestive system, respiratory system, circulatory system, excretory system, nervous system and all external internal organs in the body work independently but in the coordination with each other. The digested and absorbed nutrients of the food are transported to the various cells with the help of circulatory system due to the pumping of the heart. Simultaneously, the oxygen absorbed in the blood by the lungs is also transported to each cell by RBCs. Mitochondria in every cell brings about the oxidation of nutrients and produce energy required for all these functions. The control is exercised by the nervous system on all these actions. This keeps the organism alive and help in the growth and development of the same. Explain the Krebs cycle with a reaction. Answer. Krebs cycle was proposed by the Sir Hans Krebs. This cycle is named after him. It is also called as the tricarboxylic acid cycle of or citric acid cycle. The acetyl-CoA molecule enters the mitochondria located in the cytoplasm. They participate in the chemical reaction taking place in the Krebs cycle. In the cyclic chemical reaction, acetyl-CoA is completely oxidized. It yields molecules of the CO2, H2, NADH2, FADH2 and ATP upon the complete oxidation. See the cycle here, that is the diagram of the Krebs cycle. Question number 5. How energy is formed from the oxidation of the carbohydrates, fats and protein? Correct the diagram below. Okay. Answer is first of all, the dietary carbohydrates are digested in the digestive system with the help of various enzymes are converted into glucose. Similarly, proteins are converted into amino acids and fat are broken down into fatty acid and glycerol. Oxidation of the carbohydrate takes place during the cellular respiration. Glucose is oxidized by 3 steps during the aerobic respiration, that is glycolysis carboxylic acid cycle or Krebs cycle, electron transfer cycle chain. From one molecule of the glucose to molecule of each pyruvic acid, ATP, NADH2 and water are formed during the glycolysis. Pyruvic acid which is formed in this process is converted into acetyl-CoA along with release of the two molecules each of the NADH2 and CO2. In the next step, that is the TCA cycle, molecules of the acetyl-CoA enters the mitochondria and the cyclic chain of reaction takes place. Acetyl part of the acetyl-CoA is completely oxidized through the cyclical process. The molecules CO2, H2, NADH2, FADH2 are released in this process. Fifth point, the third step, that is ETC reaction. NADH2 and FADH2 formed during the first two steps are used for the obtaining ATP molecules. 3 molecules of ATP are obtained from each NADH2 molecule and 2 molecules of ATP from each FADH2. 6 point, thus 1 molecule of the glucose upon the complete oxidation in presence of the oxygen yields 38 molecules of ATP. This is how formation of carbohydrates energy is obtained. 7 point, if carbohydrates are insufficient in diet, then proteins or lipids are used for energy production. Fatty acid is derived from the fats and amino acids derived from the proteins are converted into acetyl-CoA. Acetyl-CoA once again can yield energy through a TCA cycle. Okay. Corrected diagram is the CO2 plus H2O plus energy gives rise to first carbohydrate goes on glycolysis gives rise to pyruvic acid, acetyl-CoA. Krebs cycle gives rise to CO2, H2O plus energy. Proteins gives amino acids, lipid gives fats. Both after gives acetyl-CoA. Okay. Thank you student. पुन्हा भेटूया आपण आपल्या नेक्स्ट व्हिडिओ मध्ये. थँक यू फॉर वॉचिंग.